Yo, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 2 of our My Team Career Mode series. Starting off, the very first thing we see today is that we have a secondary sponsor that is now on board, and it's time to go and please the sponsors, of course. What's the most important thing in F1? It's branding, and we're going to chuck the Zimuth, I believe it's pronounced, decal on the front wing. And while we're here, we see that there are corporate upgrades that we can make and improvements to each facility. So for corporate, I don't really know exactly what we're going to go for yet, but let's check out personnel. And there's something there that I quite am a fan of. Upgrade the intranet. And then engineering, this is where we want to put everything really into. We're going to get quality of life, which essentially, what we're looking at here for these upgrades in engineering is anything that can allow us to develop multiple parts at a time. So we've done that for aero and chassis at this point in time, as they are the two most important things currently that we need to focus on. Obviously, though, our straight line speed is diabolical, so working on that powertrain ASAP will be crucial. But weight reduction and aero for now will kind of probably be the best overall improvements that we can get. So we're heading over to development here. As you can see, we haven't yet got the upgrade in from the facility, so we can still only do one at a time. But soon enough, we will be able to do multiple at a time. So heading into the race weekend, we're heading to China, and we're going to drive as Pepe Marti. And the first thing we notice, oh dear, it's wet the entire weekend.
Hello, welcome to Free Practice 1 from Shanghai International Circuit here in China.
If you know anything about me, I hate the wet. I'm terrible in the wet. This isn't going to end well. And obviously, with the terrible My Team car, we're noticing straight away that around China especially, we've got a lot of understeer, and the brakes are crap. There you go. I just had to put in these clips from practice as we were starting to learn the car a little bit, just how understeery it is. It's over, as it was in Australia. I know we had our floor damage in Australia for the most part of the race, but on initial turn-in, just before the apex, she's sliding a bit oversteery, and then understeer on corner exit. So that's going to be a fun problem, very nuanced, that we're going to have to get used to. And honestly, I would have to say that China is probably one of my worst tracks historically in any F1 game. So this is really going to be a grand combination. The wet, which I'm terrible in, around a track that I'm terrible at, in a car that is an absolute disgrace. The triple T's, all terrible. I've got great hopes heading into the race weekend. And as you can see, we're doing the race strategy little thing here for our R&D, and the delta, if you're having a look in the top right hand corner, with soft tires, dumping ERS in the first lap, we couldn't get it. We were too slow in the first lap, and you're going to see here in the second lap, we're going to be too slow again. So this through here was our worst corner. I can't remember which number it is, forgive me, but essentially we're just screwed. It is a sprint weekend though, so we've got 2 chances to try and get some points out of this one. Let's head into sprint qualifying, the only practice we've had so far. Let's see how we go.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line...
All right, Crofty, thank you, mate.
Intermediate tyres are your best bet in the current conditions.
So right away, we're screwed. We're looking at the dry tyre delta, because it will tell you whether or not it's quicker and by how much. It was just getting slower. So on to the inters for the first run here. This is our first lap, our first flying lap. Yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's pretty slow, isn't it? We just can't get the traction down. This is also my first lap in the wet in F1 25. So I'm getting used to a lot of things. And as you can see on corner exit, the major problem that we have is struggling for initial traction out of a corner. So we were initially, and this is something that took me the entire race weekend to figure out. I just need to maintain higher revs and essentially a higher minimum speed through the corners. But at this point in time, had no idea. And we are 4.5 seconds off of our teammate there after our first lap. And for wet to be that far behind, though you could argue maybe the track was getting worse, it probably wasn't. This now is our second run in SQ1, and we're already a second up on our first lap. and improving. That's not going to be too hard, but what is a bit disheartening is seeing just how quick the Ferrari is behind us, and there goes that lap. So here we are now, our final attempt in SQ1. You can see the track is well and truly drying up now. You'd almost argue that, is it time for softs? I don't know. We're on the inters. That's what it said was quickest. Turn 1, very long turn. And on the exit here, still sliding, unfortunately. But we are going to be 2 seconds up or thereabouts at the end of the first sector. Not too bad. Sliding through the corner there, probably not optimal, though it is the wet, so who knows? Not me, that's for damn sure. Esteban Ocon, fastest with a 1:44. That means we're going to need to improve 9 seconds to match Esteban. Currently, we're improving by 4. With 87% battery, though, down this back straight, who knows? We might be able to pull something out the bag. Oh, that's not going to do it, though. Mounting that curb, we've just killed a lot of exit speed. We're going to be 5 seconds or so on improvement as we exit this corner. Take a lot of curb. Is that good? Probably not. Better traction there on that occasion. 5 seconds is the gap. Will that be good enough? We're looking at signs with a 47.7 sliding on the final exit, and this is just an awful lap. We did do a 47, though, did we? Where's that put us? P19. Great. Not dead last. It could have been worse. Though you'd almost argue that those people behind us definitely didn't set a qualifying lap on the right condition. But here we go.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend.
Crofty? Hello?
Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience. The flats, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Piastri, Charles Leclerc and Russell, Antonelli, Fernando Alonso, Albon and Liam Lawson, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Doohan, Webber, Behrman, Yuki Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz, Pepe Marti, Stroll, Hadja and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'd give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. Well, Ant, we love this 11th team on the grid. They've certainly made an impact since they came into the sport. But without one person at the helm, I don't think we'd have seen what we've seen so far. Their team principal really is a character.
And you need these characters in Formula One, Croft. You need them as a driver. You want to have full trust in the person leading your team forward, that your feelings inside the car and about the team are going to be relayed and understood in the right way, and positive changes made.
Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order.
Very kind words there from Anthony Davison. Anyway, the 5 red lights are on for the sprint in China, and we are racing. We've got a pretty good start there in the wet conditions nonetheless. We're going to get past Yuki Tsunoda here. We're going to see how we go down the inside. We've actually pulled out because I don't trust the brakes. There we go. We're going to maintain the inside line. We're probably going to keep Tsunoda behind us. See if we can work our way past Behrman. But I tell you what, this bunched up traffic is absolutely diabolical to try and work your way through. Do we try and go around the outside? Thinking better of it from the traction. There's not really going to be... It's too wet, too cold out on that side of the track. And Tsunoda does get past as we're exiting. End of Sector 1. Now we're going to make a dive down the inside to avoid collision with Tsunoda. And almost dying in this race has actually saved us, potentially. Because we could get a move past Tsunoda. Oh, he's still there. And we, in fact, don't get a move past Tsunoda. We get stuck out on the outside of the track there. And that right there is awful from us. Letting Sainz through with zero defense. All because we broke a little bit too late and got onto the part of the track where there is absolutely no grip. And again, that understeer playing into major effect in these conditions. There we go, understeering on the corner exit again. It's an awful little combination in these conditions. Lance Stroll going for a move down the inside, and we have to avoid Carlos Sainz again because the brakes don't want to work. Now, is that a temps issue? Is it a setup issue? Is it just a car issue? Or is it, the big one, a skill issue? What isn't a skill issue for absolute certain is the lack of straight line speed, as we're about to get overtaken by everybody and be absolutely dead last. Great fun. Gabriel Bortoleto just flying past us with complete ease. And now we're in a position where we're plumb last and don't have pace to keep up. No DRS either. Let's see how we go. Can we catch up with them? I don't know. Let's have a look. Through turn 1 to 3, we were generally quite good. Apart from this, I speak too soon. I'm just speaking from memory. That there was crap. But the rest of the lap, we just have no chance. We're seeing here change strategy. So we're thinking, oh, hello. Oh. Right, well, I've got nothing to lose, right? I mean, we're only going to continue to fall back from the drivers in front. Change strategy being suggested. Weather report, okay. Fastest tyre for now, he says, but does that mean they'll be fastest tyre for long? Maybe not. And if we can manage to catch the changeover point halfway through a lap, it's worth it. You know, we got to take the risks. It's the sprint. We've only got 5 laps. If they pit in the next lap and we manage to get this right, we're good. And that right there, perfection on pit entry, by the way. 79 kph just on the dot. I was actually quite shocked because oftentimes I do get penalties for speeding in the pit lane. But we didn't this time. On the pit exit, let's see what the grip is like.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll see the penalty.
Not bad,
Dangerous
not
driving.
bad.
Cross onto the track.
The tyres are looking...
Turning, we think it's time to box now.
Oh, we've timed it well. That is perfection. He's just gone, it's time to box after we've pit. We've come out on the softs and he goes, all right, yeah, lads, switch tops. Oh, I don't know about that. The grip's not necessarily lining up with what he's saying. Oh, wait a minute. He wants us to go back onto the inters. Right. Okay. Well then. Mark, you've sold me a dream. Yeah, you said change strategy.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the
No
time.
rain. Okay. Is it going to dry up? We could be on here. Is the grip coming to us now? No, it's not. No. Get it straight. Get it straight. All right, now we can get going again. Yellow flags for us there down the main straight. Oh, for God's sake. You're just aquaplaning. This is all...
Tyre conditions still looking good.
No, it's not. No, the front right's just been rammed into a wall. You know what? Unfortunately, this is just not worth running anymore. There's no point. It's a shame, and I hate to do this for the fans, but we don't have any fans. We're a brand new team, and also we're a minute behind and completely out of this race. It's a sprint. Let's save our engine for the full weekend. We took a gamble there, and it absolutely didn't pay off. But it's okay, because we have qualifying now. We can get out there.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position?
Me!
How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Thank you, David. Much love, my friend. So we got quali now. Looking at the track conditions, it seems to be drying up. So we're just going to wait a little bit and let some of these drivers clear some standing water for us. Dry up the track a little bit, and now we're going to go out. Switch to recommended compound. It's dry! Hey! Huge! So we're going to go out. This is our only lap because we've left it super late. And we're going to see if we can set a last-minute dry lap. So we've got some people already setting times on the soft. Oh, wait. Never mind. That's just what they are on. So Behrman is still on the inters, and then, okay. Never mind, I take it back. See, this is the problem, is it sold me a dream. We've gone green through Sector 1, but incredibly deep into the corner that follows the end of Sector 1. And Charles Leclerc setting a 134, so Carlos with a 133, so the times are tumbling. So in theory, we are going, Ollie Behrman has just gone quickest. Is that on inters? Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. I saw he was on inters. Does that mean that... Okay. Oh, I'll be honest. This hasn't been a great lap so far. Sorry, guys. I'm just watching the timing sheets. Oscar Piastri 132. There is absolutely no way. Look at us. Look at the time. We're already at 130 here. What is going on? P22. Thanks, Mark. I can see that. We are screwed. Down to the line. ERS is fully deployed. I think we all know what's coming here. Yeah, that's plumb last. That's 22nd. Mixed conditions don't do us well. That'll bode well for this.
It's time again then for Formula One in Shanghai. Northwest of the thriving city of over 24 million people is a circuit that first featured in the championship calendar back in 2004. It played host to Formula One's 1000th Grand Prix back in 2019. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and Hamilton. Russell, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon, Gasly, Jack Doohan, and Bortoleto. Webber, Albon, Liam Lawson, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Behrman, Pepe Marti, Stroll, and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'd give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. Well, Ant, we love this 11th team on the grid. They've certainly made an impact since they came into the sport. But without one person at the helm, I don't think we'd have seen what we've seen so far. Their team principal really is a character.
And you need these characters in Formula One, Croft. You need them as a driver. You want to have full trust in the person leading your team forward, that your feelings inside the car and about the team are going to be relayed and understood in the right way, and positive changes made.
I'll tell you what, they think very highly of me.
Okay, mate, I know it's not a great position to be starting on the grid, and it also puts us slap bang in the middle of the danger zone where risk is high. So be careful, pick your battles, and let's see if we can pick a few positions off along the way.
The conditions are not looking nice. Full wets the whole race. Oh dear. Formation lap as well, by the way, guys. I will point something out to you.
These conditions
Okay,
don't
weather
look
report.
Like they're shifting.
Yeah,
We're predicting at
we're
least
just
20 minutes
double
of
checking
heavy
here.
rainfall.
Is it worth
Full
coming in
wet
for
seem like the
80s?
best
No,
time
it's
for
not.
now.
The problem is that we...
Okay, so heavy
Mark!
rainfall here to stay for a while. Doesn't look like it's moving on anytime soon.
All right, we've always had, like, you saw last race, getting the soft tires up to temps was an issue. The wets are sitting on 36 on the fronts. That was a good lineup to the grid, though. Quite happy with that. Oh dear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are on, and we are racing in China for the main race here, starting in P20. Some drivers behind had some penalties. We get off to a pretty poor start. We had a decent first reaction time. We've been hit on the left-hand side by Lance Stroll, heading into the first corner, but that's okay because we've got the inside line. And let's see if we can be cheeky here on Ollie Behrman. He opens up to defend against Liam Lawson. Hey, get out of here. Antonelli next in front of us. We're going to try and go around the outside of him as well, but we're 3 wide through here, and that means we're going to get pushed right to the exit. Oh dear, we're sliding. We have no traction, and now we're screwed because we need to get the power down and not lose any more places, but we can't. We keep aquaplaning all over the track. We push Behrman. Oh dear, we're sliding, and there goes Isaac Hadjar. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Isaac. I didn't mean to do it. I swear, it wasn't my fault. And we've still got the ERS on accidentally. We've turned it off. Oh my god, we are absolutely sliding everywhere. This is a major problem. I'll tell you what, I've got no talent and I've got no grip, and that's a really poor combination. Isaac Hadjar now 5 seconds behind due to no fault of his own, unfortunately. We will have to hold our hands up for that one, but also not necessarily our fault to a whole degree. It's just, everyone is aquaplaning, it wasn't my fault that I was getting on the power too early. But now we're on the back of this next group of cars. Of course, it is lap 1, so everyone's going to be bunched up. But just unable to get the power down on the exit here. The traction, of course, that the AI has in these conditions is a bit unfair. I'll be dead honest. Let's check the weather. Oh, no, the vehicle condition. Sorry, I lied to you. Yeah, that's right. We weren't sure if we had any damage. We did play a bit of 10-pin bowling there in the first few corners, of course, with one of the drivers we hit being now 4.5 seconds behind us. Let's see the final corner here. As you can see, the second we start to put any steering rotation in there, the rear end just kicks out. Let's have a look at this restart, the start all over again. So we got a decent little launch off of the line in the initial phase, but as per usual, struggling for traction. It's funny how they all immediately move into line, because if I had my steering wheel turned even a fraction of a degree, I would immediately spin out. So there you go, bit of representation for AI cheat and got hacks. Yeah, as you can see here, Ollie Berman getting caught up trying to defend from Lawson around the inside, or the outside I should say at that point, and we took that opportunity to get around, but now we're sliding through the corner, and as you can see here, get the power down on the exit here. No. Little slidey slide. Someone hits. Oh, there you go. There. Yeah, it's not great from us, is it? There. Someone had already hit the braking marker before we did, though. So clearly we weren't the only people struggling. And I don't know why Hajar's taking so long to get back up to speed there. Maybe he's got damage or something. But up in front, we're now starting to follow through on Lance Stroll, Lawson, and Behrman's pulling away a tiny bit. But if you're looking at the track map, from P4 down, I believe that is Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. Everyone's relatively close, but we're not going to be staying with them for much longer if we're sliding around like this and losing out on the exit of corners, where it's ever important to obviously maintain speed. And as you can see here, it's just a constant. It's a dying battle.
You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the
Well,
car
that's
ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
wishful thinking, Mark. I'm 2 seconds back. I don't know how much of understeer I'm going to be dealing with. Let's have a look.
Suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while
Okay.
now. Okay, full wet seems to be the fastest
Full wet's
tyre for now.
the fastest tyre still. Look, maybe for some, not for me. But at this point in the race, I had a decision to make. I either try and risk it and be an idiot and push on like I usually would, which is what most of my issues come from. If you watch my Monaco hot laps.
Okay, Hadja behind.
Okay.
And the time last lap, 1 minute 58.2.
Okay, so
they're on a fresh set of wets.
right.
Their tyres are 2 laps old. Looks like the car behind has a small amount of damage to the front wing, but it doesn't seem to be affecting performance. Just be aware.
Thanks, Mark. So what we're learning there is that
No need to worry
Mark!
about the condition for now. Everything's looking good.
So essentially, Hadjar is quicker than us by 9/10 in the previous lap. But as I was saying,
Okay, gap ahead, 0.4 seconds.
thank you, Mark. As I was saying, we're taking this opportunity now to just try and find a bit of a rhythm and use it as a learning curve. Because as I've said, I am terrible in the wets. So I thought, I don't care about this race anymore. I'm screwed. I'm not going to catch the guys in front. Let me just try and see if I can improve. And every lap, get a little bit better and actually pay attention and learn on what I'm doing.
The tyre situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now.
Okay. The fact that he's bringing that up, though, tells me that it's getting towards the inters, and that isn't great for our pace. So anyway, like I was saying, you might sit there and think, Ethan, oh, well, of course you're trying to learn as you go. That's just normal, common sense in racing. Well, for me, I kind of forget, and I just drive flat out the whole time and don't really pay much attention. So while this lap here was crap, we are slowly just trying to find a bit of a rhythm in this race. As you'll see, we start to make some improvements there.
Gap to the car in front, 5.2 seconds.
So we have gone green in Sector 1, so we're getting a little bit better. But there, as you can see, through that corner, we had a better exit speed, better traction, and a better minimum speed as well. We just keeping the revs a little bit higher through the low speed sections. And here again, staying in a higher gear and keeping the revs a little bit higher on like mid-corner. Not here, obviously. This is just a matter of trying to ease it out and not doing that and drifting.
Okay, heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now. At least a 20-minute window of heavy rain.
Okay, 20 minutes left of heavy rain, which at this rate,
Okay,
there you
you're
go.
catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Correct, Mark. We are actually finding some decent pace now. And we were gaining what? Confidence. And that's the most important thing in these conditions, obviously, is knowing those little spots where you can get that extra bit of pace out.
You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind.
Oh, hey.
Really good stuff.
Cheers, Mark. Yeah, and here, look at the traction on the exit. Apart from that little snap correction that we had to make, generally speaking, we're getting better. And that's all I care about at this point. We're not going to get points in this race at this rate, barring anything crazy happening up in front. I mean, you look at the mini-map, the Ferraris are creating a nice big train. We're almost losing it on the exit about every single time.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 4.8 seconds.
Not bad. So we're actually eating into the gap. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and if you can have a look on the left-hand side, there's a car off into the barriers there on the left. Oh, and it's a red flag! How's that a red flag?
Back into the pits, please.
What the hell? That makes no sense. Was there debris on the track or something? Let's have a look here. So Pierre Gasly, his engine just goes. So he's had a mechanical failure. Where is he? So he just pulls off to the left-hand side here. Yeah, there he goes. How's that a red flag? You know what? Actually, that does make sense. I'll tell you why that's a red flag. FIA's actually smashed that. In these conditions...
Right, this is a good chance to change our
Yeah,
strategy for the rest
true.
of the Grand Prix if we want to.
In these conditions, they would have had to get someone on to push it in, and that is a fast-speed corner exit, and that is a danger. That's a red flag. We've got a second chance here. Still on the wets. The 5 red lights are on. And we drop it. Bang! All of a sudden, we found traction. All of that practice was not for nothing. We are moving past drivers left, right, and centre here, getting past Mark Webber down the inside. Can we move up into P15? We have for the time being. We've still got Webber fighting around the outside, accompanied by Gabriel Bortoletto. We made a little bit of contact there with Mark Webber, but that's okay because we're going to force him out as we start to close up here. Antonelli on our left-hand side fighting with Alex Albon. And let's see if we can get the traction down. Can we do it? No issues with tyre wear. I wouldn't think so since this is the first corner of these new tyres. Thank you so much, Mark, for that incredible insight. Gabriel Bortoletto now behind us. He's going to try and make a move down the inside, but we're going to do the same thing on Kimi Antonelli. And we go late on the brakes. And again, a bit more of avoiding action, but it works out in our favour. Alex Albon now getting in our way. And let's see if we can get the traction down. We have! But once we beat them on traction on corner exit and we move past Kimi Antonelli and we're up into P14 now. That red flag has done wonders for us. Let's have a look at this restart. So we're starting in P20, the red lights drop, and boom! We've just found incredible traction. Everyone else moving across to the left-hand side. We say no thank you. I'm going down the inside. Mark Webber's kicking out there and almost taking us out in the process. But you know what we say is, get out the way, Mark. I've got this. And we just keep it pinned down the inside. And we look for the little gaps if it was to open up. Kimi Antonelli holds his own nicely. But you know what happens. We get him very, very soon. Having a look behind us now, Mark Webber's dropped to Gabriel Bortoletto. But we made 5 places up in the first 2 corners. And now we've got Kimi Antonelli trying to have a little look down the inside. And he thinks better of it. It's a little snap, a little correction. But the problem is that obviously, when it comes to it, I don't know how much I trust our pace in this race still. Especially, as you'll see soon, on corner exit down that big old straight we've got here. This right-hander has been the bane of our existence the entire time. We get washed out onto the curb, and that's not where the traction's going to be, is it? And we are in a world of trouble here. We can see Antonelli is all over us. We get on the curb there, and that's just nails in the coffin. What are we going to do? Kimi Antonelli is having a look left, right, and it goes down to the left. Mark Webber's also going to get the pace on us now. He's going to the right. Surely not. But we're going to get done by both of them. Yeah, see if we can get the switchback though. Will Mark open it up for us? Antonelli goes. We're going to get the switchback move. But can we actually get the position? No, we've lost traction. And there goes Mark and goes Antonelli. And we're down into P16 now. Let's see if we can get the move down the inside again. No track limits. We've kept it clean. Maybe not clean, actually. I take it back. But we've kept it in track limits. No warning on Mark Webber there for us. We're lucky. I think we might have made contact. That or he had incredible evasive action to get out the way, but no team orders here at Formula. As we can see, Mark is in fact trying to send it down our inside through the long right-hander at the start of the lap. This is looking concerning. Alex Albon spins in front of us, and our reaction times there were absolutely diabolical. We so could have avoided that and actually kept pace with Ocon and Doohan in front.
Circuit's definitely looking better than it was.
It is looking better.
If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to go on to the intermediates.
You make a great point there, Mark. You make an incredible point. But Mark Webber, the other Mark, is all over us still.
Okay, clear.
Okay, track clear now. So Alex Albon has had his spin. We absolutely could have avoided that without a shadow of a doubt. I'll be honest, I remember it happening, and I just was like, oh, Oh my god, Albon spun, and I was just watching it. I wasn't thinking about what I was actually supposed to do in that moment. This here is probably our worst corner. We're pretty bad. On corner exit, mid-corner, we're sliding. It's a battle the whole way through, and we're having to use ERS to keep Mark behind.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 4.1 seconds.
4.1 seconds behind. We've got yellow flags again. What's going on this time? Was that... Did I see that right? It is! We've got the Alpine of Jack Doohan, who's spun off on the left-hand side. Alpine have had an awful day with Gasly DNFing, and now we've got Jack off on the left. That's a crazy sentence. I'm keeping it. No redos. We one-take wonders here. But what isn't great is that we're getting done by both our teammate and Nico Hülkenberg. Oh no, Gabby Bortoletto. Hülkenberg's way gone now at this point. But we were able to keep Lawson behind with a bit of a squeeze. We will be honest. Let's see if we can squeeze Bortoletto here as well. He's going to try and send it down the inside. Get behind. Get behind. We're struggling for traction, of course, on the exit. But it's okay. Who needs traction anyway? Because what we've got here is pace. Not really.
10 minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes.
So dry up in 10 minutes means in 5 laps time, they reckon it will be dry. Is this the point where we look to try and get ahead in strategy because we're sliding? Unfortunately, looking at our race right now, the point scoring position is Nico Hülkenberg. If you look at the light green dot, the Sauber on the minimap, that's where we need to get. No tyre concerns. I'm trying to focus on the driving, but I'm also trying to think strategy here because that's really what we need. We need a strategic advantage to be able to score points because we're not really on pace on these wet compound tyres. Do we see it out to maybe being dry and go into a soft, or do we jump on the inter? Because realistically, I don't know. Oh. Okay. Okay. If Mark's saying that. Alright. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. We're going to be quick. We're going to be quick. We're going to make our mind up quick. Obviously, the pit entry is right here. We've got Hülkenberg into the pits up ahead, and that was our benchmark. You know what? We're coming in for inters. I don't know if it will dry up enough to switch to the softs again, and the longer we can get on these inters, the better the advantage will be. So, hoping that people pit in the next lap, we should be able to undercut a few people here, and with Hülkenberg being the benchmark, we've got the other Sauber in. So Sauber have gone for a double stack, but obviously with a fair bit of a gap between them. That's a lovely little maneuver from the Sauber pit crew. That's improvements from last year. I tell you what, they were not very good. Oh, Valtteri Bottas had a rough time with them, didn't he? Anyway, but we've come out on the inters, and immediately they feel a lot better. They feel beautiful. Like, look at that. Look at that. So Ollie Behrman is the closest wet runner now. He's the back of the wet runners, and Nico Hülkenberg is, of course, well, he was already well in front of us. So he's essentially P10, provisional P10. People are coming around the final corner now, and nobody's coming into the pits. Okay. Okay, good. Good. All right. So we're going to get an extra laps undercut advantage here. They've got 8 laps. Surely, with the track drying up, they can't go to the end.
Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 minutes of rain.
Still.
10 minutes. So the rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while.
Okay.
Be careful.
So,
Inter's look like the best tyre
yeah,
for now.
yeah, Inter's absolutely the best. We're eating away Ollie Behrman. That was a poor lap as well, so this is our pit exit lap. Let's have a look. We're going to start our first.
We're trailing the car ahead by 0.5 seconds.
So what we've got here is an issue on that first lap of Inters of getting them up to temp. Obviously, the AI don't have to deal with that. Bullshit. We have. So we've dealt with that now, and it's time to start finding some pace. We've got 7 laps on these Inters, and if we can get a good lap in here, assuming that people start to box, we've got green sector 1. It's going to be, of course, surely we're on for a fastest lap of our own race.
Right, we've got teams in the pits changing over to full wets. Come in and
what?
change the tyres if you need to.
Full wets? What are you talking about, Mark? Are you telling me we've come in on these Inters and the rain's getting heavier again?
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
So, we've been sold a dream. The rain's just picked up again, and now these wet runners Okay, it's looking at the screen. It's starting to dry up again. Never mind. Some parts of the track are drier than others. That's just brilliant. I mean, realistic.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 10.8 seconds.
Thank you, Mark. But we have gone purple in Sector 1, so clearly the Inters are still the tire to be on right now. And even if it's not in general, personally, I'm finding a lot more happiness on these tires. I'll tell you what. I hated this. The wets were awful to me. They weren't a big fan of me. And we are still eating away at Ollie Behrman, but we've only got 6 laps to go. This is a bit of a problem. So we're having a look at Behrman on the track map. We look at the... there's a bit of a train forming behind... Is it our teammate or is it Kimi Antonelli? Either way, it's one of them, and it doesn't matter because they're super close to each other. There's a lovely little train. And that looks like point-scoring positions. If Nico Hülkenberg gets caught up in all of this, we could be able to catch it and maybe score a single point here. Hey, who would have thought? Let's push on, though. We do only have 5 laps to go, and that is looking about a 15 to 20 second gap we're going to need to make up. Actually, more than that at this point. But if they battle it out on the wets, Nico Hülkenberg's making his first move past that train into P17.
For the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the Inters for now.
Well, yeah, I'm not exactly going to go back onto wets, and it's nowhere near... It's still raining. Purple Sector 1, thank you very much. We're finding some lovely pace here, apart from that slide. But honestly, even with the slide, we're still quick. What's happening here? Weather report.
So we're looking at another 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Still 10 minutes! Mark! Oh, dear. Oh, dear. We really needed it to dry up quicker. If this dried up any quicker, we would absolutely be cooking. We've taken a gamble so far. We've got...
Just so you know, we're getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors. So I don't think you need to be worried. Just some bad...
No!
Keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine...
If we have a bloody mechanical failure, I'll be fuming. Fuming. Okay, 8.6 seconds now off of that front... Well, not the front train, but the train in front. And we've got 3 and a bit laps to go. This is really going to be a push. Nobody's boxing, are they? If it dries up drastically, which it doesn't seem to be raining anymore, we could be okay. We really badly need just some problem. Give me like a safety car. No, there's not enough time for a safety car, is there? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. We need some crashes, maybe. We're screwed. We're screwed. We took a gamble here. We're going to keep pushing on because we're eating at the gap ahead by quite some margin. Purple Sector 1 yet again. And look at the traction on exit there. Whoa! Mate, if you saw me doing that in bloody qualifying or SQ1, whatever you want to call it as well, we would be in a very much a different position in this race. Potentially where Lance Stroll is currently in the point scoring position. Lance is quite some margin in front of Antonelli, or I think it might be Mark. We've got a yellow flag now. Is that... We've got a driver going slow. It's Purple Sector 2. We're absolutely flying right now. What's going on up ahead, though? It's green again. It looks like the Mercedes... Is that Russell? That has to be Russell, because Antonelli's in the pack up front. Russell has got a problem. He must have a problem. That's a poor exit there again from us. On board with Russell. Yes, he's got an engine failure. That's a second engine failure of the race. And where's he going to pull off, though? Surely he's not parking it on the track. Yeah, we probably could have took it back to the pits. But there you go. He's parking it on the exit of the heavy braking zone. We've got double waved yellow up in front. That means someone... Okay. But having a look, it was still yellow flags. And Nico Hülkenberg, he's green there on the exit. But Hülkenberg's overtook Antonelli under yellow flags there. That's got to be a penalty. That has to be. Surely. We're back to racing now, but through that entire section there, it was still yellow at the apex, which is where Hülkenberg made the move. FIA, you've got to get on that. You've got to get on that. What you don't need to get on, though, is me, because I got purple. Fastest lap. Come on, we're flying. We've got 2 laps to go now, and 5.5 seconds the gap to the back of that little train. With Hülkenberg, can he get a big enough penalty to, make any difference? Maybe not, because Lance Stroll is still in the points position. If somebody crashes and Hülkenberg gets a big enough penalty, it could be on here. We're going to need all the pace we've got. Let's extract it. This Fleetwood Formula car has actually come alive.
And gap to the car in front, 4.9 seconds.
Okay, this is doable. This is doable. 4.9 seconds and at 7/10 just drop like that. Mate, we're flying. Look at the delta in the top left. We're absolutely cooking. But, you know, to get to them is one thing and to pass them's another. And I don't know how confident I am on passing offline in these conditions. And by offline, I mean off of the racing line. Because, well, wet track.
Okay, let's see if we can catch the car ahead. Gap currently 5 seconds.
No, it's not. It's not 5 seconds. It's 3 and counting. Purple sector 2 as well. We're just going to see if we can find out where Mark Webber is. Because if he's the front of that pack, I would like to know what position he's in. And well, you know, what's the potential finish here from us? Getting on that curb? No, we don't need that. We don't need it. And we're about to round the hairpin. Miss the apex a little bit crap on the exit. But we're about to start the final lap in this race, and we are on the back of the train. We've got 1 lap around Shanghai International Circuit. Can we do it? Here we go. Purple, fastest lap again. Whoa, 2 seconds of gap to Ollie Behrman. Send it through the right-hander here. We've got a lot more traction than they do. Oh my goodness. Look how we can keep it pinned the whole way and still get a nice little hook on the exit. Bang. On that curb on the left-hand side, we're not going to have a whole lot of traction on that. Of course, it's wet. It's a curb. It's got a lot of paint on it. That's not ideal. On the exit, though, we're now within 1 second of Ollie Behrman. Let's have a look at just how much we gain on them here. It's absolutely incredible just having a look at how much more traction we've got. The grip on these inters is absolutely insane. You can see Nico Hulkenberg's in P11 right now, so even if he does have penalties, will we get any points? No, we won't. But let's keep on watching now, shall we? Heading into the braking zone, purple sector 1 again. Ollie Behrman's getting caught up here, and we could have a nice move here on the exit if we can get the power down. Stuck in his wake a little bit. We're not going to get it done at the apex, but you know what? It's time. We have to go for a send on the wet down the inside. We've kept it clean. We've got past him. What a move that was in the no traction. You know, I'm actually very impressed. We're sliding through the corner, though. And Isak Hajar's up next. We've got to get it done. We've got to get it done. Aggressive. Get it. Bin. Don't make contact. Do not slide. Just about getting it slowed down. And we've got past Hajar as well. That's an incredible move. But now we've got to get the power down. And we need to get Alex Albon as soon as we can.
Nice move. Good job.
Thanks, Mark. Mate, I tell you what, that was phenomenal. Albon slowed down on the brakes. What? We've almost made contact. We've got a clean through. And we have got the power down. And that's another clean move done. Can you believe it? That was actually not intentional. I can't lie. But it works. They slowed down quicker than I thought. A little quick jump to the inside. And that's all she wrote. Max Verstappen comes home to win the Chinese Grand Prix while everything's happening behind. It was a very easy day for him. He was wet to the end. 20 laps, no problem. Look at this move here on Isak Hajar. Just, what, mate, phenomenal. If I was to do this at the start of the weekend, you wouldn't believe you. Though we do have a major tyre advantage. But down the inside now, Kimi Antonelli, we've made a little bit of contact on the way through. I don't know how clean that was. Can we... Oh, I don't know. FIA, we'll leave that one to you. We've got strict on... We've got Mark Webber up ahead. Liam Lawson's not going to happen, but can we get our teammate to at least make a point? We have on the exit. Can we keep it, though? Don't get on the curb. We've done it. That's it. P12 on... wait.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Wait! P12! We did get P12! I wasn't sure. I was watching the top left-hand corner to see what happened with Hulkenberg. We got driver of the day! Yes! Get in, Pepe Marti, you beauty! So P13 on track and P12! Once Hulkenberg was handed his penalty. We're pleased with that, but even more pleased, it's the Red Bull camp. Well done, Max.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
Mate, Max is cooking. So much for the McLaren dominance. Why?
And it's time for that special moment for our special 3 today. The podium awaits our top 3 finishers. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
Hey, who said that second Red Bull seat was cursed? Yuki Tsunoda, P3 in China. Well in. Oscar Piastri not on the podium this weekend. His title hopes are struggling right
After an
now.
event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring
Thank
all
you,
the
my boy,
excitement
David
of Formula
Croft.
One.
In the sprint, of course, we DNF'd, but in the race, we had a nice turnaround there, finishing above our teammate and starting from P20, ending up P12. Quite happy with that. Hülkenberg got the fastest lap there in the end as we had to pass quite a few cars. Nonetheless, though, we're pleased with that. Very, very pleased. I saw that many people didn't switch their tyres in the red flag. But anyway, that's it for episode 2 of My Team. What was a pretty disappointing start to the weekend, and we were on the back foot from the very get-go because of our skill issues in the wet. I'm proud of how we managed to still extract something meaningful out of this weekend. We showed a lot of grit, a lot of heart, and I was quite pleased. We took a gamble today. It didn't pay off. Had everyone else pit because it dried up any quicker, we very much could have been looking at one or maybe a handful of points. But you know what? Things just didn't quite go our way today. It's one of those things, you know, in Formula 1. You take the gamble, and if it pays off, amazing. But it didn't. Not quite just yet. Next weekend, we're heading to the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a track that I'm quite fond of, in fact, and maybe we might have a few upgrades on the way as well, which might give us a little bit of a hand in the ever aerodynamic dependent track. Thank you so much for watching episode 2 of our My Team Career Mode. Make sure you hit a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.